Mel Harris, Garbagemanpiper, coming to you from the rocker. And we're going to do a rating on an Alec Bradley Tempus Natural. I'll see you after the intro. Okay, we have lit it and started smoking the first third. I think we're about halfway-ish to the first third, but we got an issue. So I'm gonna have to even that out. I wanted to show you guys the burn on it. It's calm out tonight. I can't blame that on you. That's the cigar. There's no wind blowing. I'm not chooching it like a freight train. Maybe I need to pick up the cadence actually a little bit to see if it evens out. I did the first presentation part of it. I like the band and everything on it. Everybody does that, right? Tempus. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on the wrapper. Like the wrapper. I'm sorry. The wrapper on the cigar, the exterior wrapper, I gave a 4 out of 5. I always jump the gun and go to the band. But let me even that up real quick while we're here. That is a big old lopsided, nasty repair job. Okay. I have found my consistency note. That's the note that I'm going to follow throughout this cigar to see if that changes. I'm hoping by leveling that off that'll change the flavors some. Not a bad tasting cigar. The wrapper on it is a little dry, not as oily as I would like. I gave it a 1 out of 3 on oils. The first third is spongy, and then it firms up as it gets to the back. So it took some hits there. So out of 15, the cigar wrapper got a 4 out of 5, so it took a hit there. The band, 4 out of 4, like the band. Firmness, 3 out of 3. And I pretty much rate it first, third, second, third, first, second, and third. How are they? Is the first third spongy and the rest okay? That's how I personally hit for firmness out of 3 because there's 3/3. As far as oils, it's dry. It's drying my lips out. I gave it a 1 out of 3. So we're talking an 11 out of 15 just in the presentation. That's not a good thing for my rating of this cigar. But we got a 5 out of 5 on the smoking characteristics. So on the light, 5 out of 5, lit right up. It actually burned well for probably 3/8 of an inch to a half an inch, and then it went cattywampus on me. As far as the burn's taking a hit on the first third, so unless it recovers and it's able to hold its own, we're going to have issues on the burn. As far as the draw goes, I'm good with the draw. Probably a little more loose. The draw's probably a little more loose than some of the other cigars I've smoked lately, but actually I prefer that. It's not overly light draw, just kind of right down the middle, so that's a good thing. As far as flavor, consistency, I found that leathery kind of note that I like. Sorry for my rocking. I'm in my rocking chair, man. I love to rock. I just got me a new rocking chair, so I'm rocking the rocking chair. Flavor, quality and smoothness, I'm gonna wait on those, and then we've got overall impression. So I'm gonna smoke this bad boy through into the second third. I've been trying to look information up on this cigar, not having any luck on the Tempest. So the Tempest Natural. So I'm still looking. I'm flying blind right now, so I'm still going to be looking online through the second, third, and into the third to see if I can get you a tobacco makeup wrapper, filler, binder. So with that, we're on our way. We'll be back. Okay, I had a little more success in looking up some information on the Alec Bradley Tempest. I couldn't find a natural, but I think that's what they were describing. It is a medium strength cigar. I think I'm gonna pop this wrapper off. One thing I like about their wrapper is, see that little tab right there? They don't glue that down, which is nice, because all you gotta do is peel that back, and now you've got something to peel. So I've already given it a 4 out of 4, but I'm digging the wrapper. So we've got the wrapper to glue on to, or tape on to the book. So let's look at what we've got. So we've got a Nicaraguan wrapper from Jalapa, and then we've got binder from Nicaragua, filler from Nicaragua, long filler. The regions that this tobacco has come from, 3 different regions. So the wrapper is Jalapa. Then you've got Condega and Esteli. So Jalapa, Condega, and Esteli are the 3 areas that they're pulling tobacco from. As a matter of fact, the other day, and this is the other thing that's cool about doing these reviews, I did a Southern Draw cigar the other day. I think it was the Southern Draw that had the same tobaccos in it. And I should have went back and looked prior to looking at this. But I'll have to go back and look and see what cigar. So I smoked one recently in the last couple of weeks. That had the same tobaccos from the same region, and I believe one of those regions they said was a foresty region, but that's the nice thing. I'm gonna have to go back and find that cigar that I had those notes on. So basically, this cigar came out of the chute at about a 94 on a rating. It's had a couple of ratings since, and they come in right about 90 on both of the ratings that were done. I don't have how long ago those ratings were, but we've got some information to go on. As far as flavor notes on this, so some of these guys that rated these cigars said that there's a caramel and all this. I get more of a earthy, and in the flavor wheel, leather falls into that earthy category. And on the retrohale, not a lot of pepper, not making my eyes water, but just a nice spice. I'd call that a pepper. So on the flavor wheel, when you look at it and it says spice, it's got several different spices. Pepper is one of those. Not a strong black or even a white. It's just a nose feel that I'm getting on the retrohale. and it's nice. I mean, I'm enjoying the cigar, and the thing that I'm learning is those three different tobaccos from different regions of Nicaragua seem to have similar. It'll be, again, I want to go back into my book and find that cigar that I smoked. But it was a medium to full, which is very interesting that this is a medium natural. But those other blends, I believe, came in at medium full. So interesting. I had to correct this again. It was a way off. And so I had to correct it again in the second, third. The way it looks, I'm going to be correcting it a few more times before we finish. I will say this, the price point on this is about a $9 cigar. I can see correcting a cigar 4 times. If it's like that Grand Habano that is like a $4.55 stick. Not that it's a big deal. Don't get me wrong. It's not a big deal to correct a cigar. What I look at is because of how far it burns out of line, how uneven it burns, am I getting robbed of some flavors there? At the same time, I still got my leather note that I track, and I'm enjoying that note. And it's, again, realistically, when I smoke a cigar, honestly, I'm not overly concerned about those. I just love that leather earthy note that I get. And if there's some creaminess or a little bit of caramel or some chocolate or something in there, my palate just doesn't seem to go to that chocolate side, that nutty side. But, you know, come to think of it, that leathery, could be a leathery notey thing. I don't know if you guys, after looking at some of my reviews, ever went online and downloaded the flavor wheel. It's just this, it's the most simple wheel that I was able to find. And on spice, it's talking pepper, clove, graham, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg. Out of that, I'm getting a little bit of pepper, and I'm a light pepper, maybe a white pepper, not the dark black pepper. Let me just say on the draw, you know, we were talking about the firmness of this cigar and how the first third was spongy and then it firmed up as we got into it. The draw went from what I would call a medium nice draw. You see me sucking on this bad boy to get the smoke through it. And it's just gotten tighter as I've got into the cigar. So that's interesting. I don't know that I've actually paid attention to that before when the draw's been nice and it's just gotten tighter as you get into the cigar. So interesting. As far as earthy notes, they talk about toast, leather, and tea on the flavor wheel. I'm not getting any fruity notes. No lime, lemon, orange. So I make these mental notes of regions of Jalapa and Jalapa wrapper, and I'm starting to file those away. And again, going back and referencing in my book, what cigars to look for. So I can look up a cigar and say, oh, it's got a Jalapa wrapper with a Condiga or a Esteli, binder and filler. And then you know more about the cigar before you even buy it. And again, I get most of my stuff through CI, some through Smoking Pipes, some through JR. I'm learning even more. I was just texting with Smoking Fireman Cody. He's just purchased some stuff through Corona Cigars out of Florida. I've had good luck with CI. I haven't had any problem with their shipping. I mean, it takes a little longer. I mean, you're out there 5 to 7 days, but I'm good with that. I'm not waiting around for cigars. So, listen, we'll do a little more chit-chatting in the last third. And just from the time I've been talking with you, which has been 10 minutes, we're crooked again. See you in the third. All right, we're into the third. Sorry it's so dark. I've only got these overhead lights. I don't think I turned the porch light on that's right here. Apologize for it being so dark. We're in the third. And when I smoke a Toro or a Churchill, I'm always reminded why I go to the Robustos. Robustos are my size. I beat this cigar up pretty good. And I'm just going to say, before I tell you what I rated it, let's just go through the different areas. So on presentation, this cigar took a beating from the standpoint of the oils on it. This was a gift from one of 3 YTPC members. You know, you don't know. I'm not saying the cigar was abused by any means. It was in cellophane. It should be able to hold its own. It was in my humidor for probably a month, enough to even any of the dryness out. But I gave it 11 out of 15 on presentation, 4 to 5 on the wrapper, 4 of 4 on the band, firmness 2 out of 3, and oils 1 out of 3. Took a hit on the oils. Just a somewhat drier than what I was expecting. On smoking characteristics, on the light, 5 out of 5. On the burn, 7 out of 10. I corrected this cigar easily. Needs to be corrected again. I corrected it at least 4 times. It's going to have 5 before I finish it. So I gave it a 7 out of 10 on the burn. I was probably generous there. On the draw changed. So it went from a nice draw to a hard draw. Now we're back to a medium draw. Right where it needs to be. I gave it on the draw 7 out of 8. So an 18 out of 23. It took, actually that's 4, that's 19. Sorry, my math. So we are talking about consistency. So flavors. 9 out of 9 on the consistency. Even though towards the end I'm getting a bit of a char, again, that's why I smoke Robustos. Usually I find right after the Robusto size, you start getting more char on the end of the cigar. And this is about where I would probably stop smoking. So we have got on flavor quality an 8 out of 9, on smoothness a 6 out of 8. So a 23 out of 26, not too bad. My overall impression, we're talking about quality of blend, 11 out of 12. I got no complaints on the quality of blend. I really find I'm enjoying the Jalapa, Condego, and the what is it, Esteli regions of Nicaragua, that the on this cigar from the wrapper all the way through. So I got no problems with the quality of blend. Flavors, I found that note all the way through. I'm still getting that earthiness. Actually did get a little bit of nuttiness there from the second into the third. but that earthy leather note is what I just live for that. I'm really enjoying it. So flavor progression, we got an 8 out of 8. The finish, and I'm going with the finish already. The finish basically is your mouthfeel at the end of the cigar when you're done smoking it. I'm going to be pretty much done smoking this one. I gave it a 4 out of 6. Again, if this was a Robusto size, I probably would have given it a 6 out of 6. But I'm starting to get the char in the mouth. Speed of the burn, 5 out of 5. It's right at a 40 minutes per third, and it's been very consistent that way. As far as the price goes, I will tell you, I corrected this cigar more times than I corrected a $4 to $5 cigar. So I hit it on a 3 to 5 on that. I ended up at an 84. And frankly, I'm ashamed of that rating. I think this is a better cigar than that. But it really took some heavy hits on the presentation and heavy hits on the smoking characteristics, which are really physical aspects of the cigar. Not so much flavor of the cigar did it take hits from me on. So the question is, would I buy a box of these? No, not at the price point that these are, and probably even if this was a Robusto, I wouldn't. Though I would say I'm really enjoying the Nicaraguan tobaccos that are in this cigar. Really enjoying it as far as the flavors go. I don't know that I'd even have this in my humidor. I may look for a Robusto in something close to this. I've got a couple of 1 or 2 more Alec Bradley cigars in the Winador that now I'm looking forward to smoking to see what I can find out about the Alec Bradley brand. The tobaccos in it are high quality tobaccos. They didn't cheap this cigar out by any means. And I think some of the things that I need to learn are the burn of a cigar. What really affects the burn of a cigar? And again, you know, I wish I could have rated this higher, but I just don't. I had to fuss with it too much to get what I think helping the cigar to burn, which again is one of those things. High points on the quality of the tobacco and the flavors I'm getting. I did go back in my book and look for those 3 regions of Nicaragua where this is grown, and it ended up being the Esteban Carrera cigar and the Condigo and Jalapa regions were the 2 that cigar had. They used it as the filler of the cigar. So that says a lot to me about the consistency of the flavors. And that's on the Esteban Carrera Mr. Brownstone. So I'll be revisiting that cigar as well. So some of the cigars I've smoked between reviews. I smoked a San Andreas, Rocky Patel San Andreas Vintage 2006. I smoked a Drew Estates Undercrown Sun Grown, and those I think are really. I smoked one other cigar that was a shorty yesterday, and it really wasn't anything to even put in the book, in my opinion. So with that, I will say Mel Harris, Garbagemanpiper, saying sweet chicken from the dark. Y'all be safe out there.